Welcome to Star Citizen, the Alpha 3.11.1 and the Shipguide. Today we will take a closer look at one of the mostly expected ships in the verse, the Mercury Star Runner from Crusader Industries. And as in every ship guide, we start with the exterior, then we move on to the interior, whereby we will spend a little more time here with the Star Runner. Then we will look in detail at the combat capabilities, as a solo pilot or with a crew, and of course all other possibilities uses for the Star Runner. Finally, the atmosphere, flight characteristics and where you can purchase the Star Runner, for what price or maybe even in-game. The conclusion of the test will be based on pure facts on the one hand and on the other as a fan of the Star Runner, because as you will see it is a little different. The Crusader Mercury Star Runner is the first ship from Crusader Industries, a human spaceship manufacturer. So here we have a completely new design language from Crusader. We can expect a Hercules series soon. That means big cargo ships, or then with military impacts. The Star Runner is classified and designed as a medium-sized ship and has the role of a medium data runner. That means for a later game mechanic in which we transport data from A to B or even collect it, the Star Runner is the biggest ship so far. However, this game mechanic is not yet implemented in the game and nothing has been announced yet about this game mechanic will be implemented. The specifications of the Star Runner are quite respectable, with a length of 56 meters, a width of 51 and a height of 60 meters, and the combat speed. The recommended speed in combat is 250 meters per second. The maximum speed is remarkable because with 1287 meters per second the Star Runner belongs to one of the fastest ships, especially in this size category. The components are built in size 2, that means in the middle size, and here especially 5 size 2 computers have to be mentioned. This is of course due to the ability of the Star Runner that as a data runner is naturally needs an increased computer capacity. As said before, this is not yet implemented in the game, but it has to be said in any case in connection with the Star Runner. There are two versions of almost all components, that means of the shield generators, the power plants and coolers, but also of the fuel tanks. Here the Star Runner has a big advantage and an enormous range. One point of criticism is that the Boolean quantum drive is installed by default. That should be the first thing you replace, because it is one of the slowest in the verse. As armament, the Star Runner uses size 3 laser repeaters. Here the pilot has control over one turret, and it must be said that the hard points, that means the size of the weapons you can attach here, is limited. You have there 3 laser repeaters which are gimbaled, and there is no possibility to exchange them for fixed weapons. That means if we had a level 4 hardpoint, this size is limited and we have to be connected with size 3 weapons with a gimbal. We also have 4 size 3 missile racks. These come standard with 2 level 3 Arrestor rockets and 4 level 2 Tempest rockets. Concerning the firepower, the Star Runner is a little bit more limited than other ships, especially when you're traveling alone. A Nomad, which is priced much lower than the Star Runner, is much more powerful for a single pilot, and it has an additional level 3 armament point. However, the Star Runner does not claim to be a fighting ship, but as a data runner and blockade breaker it is rather designed for speed and defensive abilities. Incidentally, it is currently not possible to buy in-game the Mercury Star Runner. In the past it was often the case that newly released ships could be purchased for in-game currency with the next major patch. Prices for this are only pure guesswork, but I would definitely classify the Star Runner in the range of 4 to about 5 million USD. However, as I said, currently not yet available in the game. One of the biggest features of the Star Runner is the enormous quantum range. That means quantum fuel with almost 10,000 units, that is more than 3 times the range of an Origin 600i or a Constellation Aquila. For comparison, an Anvil Carrack Expedition has 44,000 units. Therefore, a really good value for a ship of this size. Another positive feature is the very high final speed of 1287 meters per second. Here the Star Runner is only beaten by a Drake Herald, which is also just a flying engine. And to continue the comparison to the Drake Herald, also the Drake Herald is a dedicated data runner. A ship with a corresponding computer capacity, but one step smaller in size. As a result, the data runner ships, like the Star Runner itself, are equipped with high speed to transport this sensitive information quickly from A to B. And also the defensive abilities of the Star Runner independent of shields, that means that the hull hit points are with 60,000 just under an anvil carrick, and that is definitely one of the biggest advantages. And just the cold technical data imply that the Star Runner has in any case very high defensive capabilities and extreme speed to escape quickly from tricky situations or sensitive areas. This is the reason why the offensive armament and the abilities in this area are limited. Otherwise we would have a real jack of all trades beast where we would not need our ships. And of course, the Star Runner has also a small emotional bonus. With its asymmetric shape, it reminds us not only optical but also emotionally of a small Millennium Falcon from the Star Wars universe. And in any case, the design is not just coincidental, because the interior also bears a clear resemblance to Han Solo's light Corellian freighter. But we look directly into the interior, and you can see for yourself. And by the way, I would be very interested in your opinion here. Which areas remind you of the famous ship from the days gone by? The design language of Crusader already gives a very clean and professional impression with this first ship. I would describe the appearance of the material and the composition of the parts as functional and high quality. But for this we just go into the interior and do an extended tour, as there is a lot to see. As soon as we enter, we notice the new controls, which have been introduced with several options and are also applied to other ships. Via the massive ramp we enter the cargo area, which is very spacious not only in width but also in height. Here you can easily get 2 or 3 ROCs or other vehicles in. And because of the comfortable height, we don't have the problem with the ROC Mining laser. All in all, we can accommodate 140 SCU units here. 69 in the cargo compartment we just saw, and again additional SCU in a hidden and protected area we can smuggle. But to the smugglers hiding or secret passages we will come back to the details later. Here we are in the engineering room, which is right next to the entrance. Here we have access to almost all ship components, and here at the back wall, as we will find out later on during our tour through the secret hiding places, another access to the ship's interior. All other areas can be reached either via the elevator or, as we will see in a moment, by a slightly faster way, which avoids an elevator ride up and later down. The next room is directly the server room. This serves as an access possibility to the other areas of the ship, and here all server racks are set up. These are later exchangeable, which means you can take out or add data material. Here there is a way to the left into the scanner room, and to the right into the other possibilities to enter the ship. Here in the right back corner we find the access to the 2 manned gun turrets. One goes up and one goes down. So we would have reached the maximum firepower with 2 gun turret crews. When we enter the door labeled bridge, we do not get directly to the bridge, but into an inner area of the ship. Here we have the ship's quarters and also the lounge, as well as again a dedicated access to the bridge, which is specially secured with 2 round and large air docks. The habitation area is accessed from the right hand side. Since the Star Runner does not have dedicated quarters for the captain, the entire crew is accommodated here together. This means that we have all 3 beds with a small entry room and further storage facilities, where we also have the possibility to turn the lights on and off, which works with the light switches we have already seen all over the ship. This feature is also added in other ships soon. And as we have already seen on the Nomad, there is also several small details that make the ambience more comfortable. When we leave the room towards our entrance, we come to the left door after the server room, and this is the recreation area. And here we have not only a kitchen and seating, but also a chessboard that might remind some Star Wars fan of older movies. But we will come back to the chessboard later in detail. When we go back to the server room area, we also come to the scanner room. This is directly connected to the server room, and here we also have computer components and a dedicated scanner place. This also extends the scanner dish, and we have access to later game mechanics, which again has to do with data running. And at least access over the big 2 round airlocks, which also reminds us of the Millennium Falcon, we come to the bridge. Here we have an intermediate corridor which also houses components, and have at least a round of airlocks. We are finally on the bridge. Also on the bridge we have 4 weapon racks on the right side and some components on the left side. The seats for the pilot or co-pilot move forward after they have occupied. That means first a little bit up and then they bring you to your controls. The animation is well done, but I would have liked a slightly different computer voice.
Crusader Industries, a journey worth taking. Systems on.
But let's come to a novelty, the hidden interior areas, where we have a small hidden cargo area which we can reach directly after entering. Through this hidden access panel, which we first have to open, and then press the switch, and access opens up. Here we can enter a protected cargo area, which will be shielded from the evil eyes of police forces or others. However, at the moment there is no possibility to choose in which cargo area we put our compartment. And at this same time we take us into the ship's interior, into a hidden area, which we reach almost every place on the ship. Here we have the habitation area, and if we follow the corridor we will come to a prominent point. This fan serves as an orientation, and we have the possibility to go right or left and then come here into different areas. If we go left we will first come into the scanner room, and right next to it on the left side we still have access to reach the cargo hold from the other side again via the engineering area. These 2 sides are then the only ones on this level. Otherwise we always have to climb up via the hatches. From the inside, so from protected area, you can always close the hatches, and from the outside there are hidden entrances, like here behind the hidden panel. Here we also get access with it from the outside and can open the hatches. And there is an access possibility for each hatch, I will show you at all. So we'll go back the way we came, and if we follow the corridor straight ahead, we get to the recreation room, which was the last room on this side of the ship. If we go back to the fan, our fixed point, and use the right axis, we have the other areas like the server room and an axis that just ends before the bridge. So let's have a look at the other entrances from the inside of the ship. Here you have a better orientation point where the entrance is and you can enter it. At this point it is enough if you look at the floor or on this floor panel. If you click on it you will have the access, which leads directly into the interior. And the famous chessboard is another thing, we have to solve a little puzzle. As a small detail, this axis is even labeled with attention to moving parts. And if you want to open this axis you need a special chess piece, namely the white queen. This white queen we then have to pick up and place on a small coaster in the kitchen. And that is the solution of the riddle, and the axis is opened. The animation here is also nice to look at, especially for hide and seek games. The Star Runner is suitable in any case. There is no direct use on the corridors at the moment, because we will not be boarded by AI forces yet, and the whole thing might be more fun at the moment or might be of some importance in PvP sometime. The next axis is then also be found in the sleeping rooms in the back. Here we have another floor panel which can open again. Here we can get back into the interior, and from here we can get to any point in the ship, as with this other axis. The last point is in the scanner room. Again in the back we have the last access via a floor panel. And this brings us to the next area, the combat capabilities of the Mercury Star Runner. We are here once in a team, that means one with a fully crew. Both turrets are armed, and as loadouts we have one of the turrets here equipped with distortion weapons. This is currently one of the most practicable options, because the distortion weapons do a lot of damage against shields and make the enemy vulnerable. The Star Runner is also suitable for smaller missions, With the 2-side 3 gimbal weapons you have the possibility to kill smaller enemies relatively quickly. Otherwise the Star Runner is relatively weakly armed, especially as a solo ship. If you are traveling without a turret crew, that means every better starter ship starting with a Titan, Avenger or even the Nomad has more firepower. So if you are looking for a ship which is mainly for combat, the Mercury Star Runner is not for you. With a full crew the whole thing looks a little bit like this, and you can get up 1800 DPS in a standard armament, which is enough for missions in the CS5 category or against bigger enemies. But it should be noted that the defensive capabilities of the Star Runner offer a possibility to survive missions for a long time. So it is possible to use the Star Runner against bigger or heavier targets, and your flying skills should decide if you survive long enough. The armament is a time factor here, and you need more time to take out every enemy. The agility in space fighting is good, and I would say it is between a Cutlass and a Freelancer. The Runner is not as agile as, for example, a Cutlass or even a medium fighter, but not as slow as a Freelancer. A good mediator cry is found here, and it is possible to keep up your turret crew and main armament always on the enemy. The possibility to bring an extra small punch into the fight is offered by the Star Runner with their rocket armament. This is rather rudimentary and does not really have a higher damage potential, but it is a nice addition and the rockets can be used sensibly. And there is also the possibility to replace the 2 Stage 3 rocket racks with twice the number of Stage 2 rocket racks, which increase the flexibility even more. In summary, in the area of combat skill, the Star Runner is too weak to carry out most PvE missions in the verse due to his weak pilot armament solo. In the team, the whole thing looks different. Here the firepower is sufficient and the Star Runner can be recommended for the combat area. But let's go to the next point. What else you can do with the Mercury Star Runner from Crusader?
The close fights are always the toughest.
Cargo missions are possible without any problems. Here we have a cargo hold that competes with a Freelancer like a Max and is definitely suitable for smaller cargo trips. The dedicated smuggling cargo hold is also a plus, but it's not yet practicable. If this is the case, you have the possibility to earn extra money through smuggling. But of course, the Star Runner is also predestinated for ROC mining. Due to the large and generous cargo area, you have the possibility to pack 2 rocks very well, and a third one is also possible. The scanner of the Star Runner is also comparatively good. It not does come close to the performance of a Cutlass Red, but it is sufficient for ROC mining. Here we have the possibility to use the Star Runner additionally and to use it accordingly, which is another plus. Also bigger vehicles, not only a Cyclone but also Rover, find a comfortable place in the Star Runner, and we also have the possibility to carry out exploration missions. That means if you want to explore a target like the Javelin Bragg with the group, you have the possibility to load enough vehicles and other items. But let's come to the last area of our test. The atmospheric flight characteristics of the Crusader Mercury Star Runner. And here I would differentiate. On the one hand, the general flight characteristics, the feeling of a flight, and then again in the context of the size of the Star Runner. In general, it flies a little slower or a little less agile as you might expect, but if you take the size of the ship into account and also restore the feeling that is about the size of a Constellation or a larger Freelancer, then again the flight characteristics are relatively good and also agile. It's fun to fly with a Star Runner, and a first bug in the first version that we used a lot of fuel has been fixed in the meantime. We now have a normal fuel consumption here and can explore to our heart's content and use all other possibilities in the Star Citizen universe without having a look at the fuel gauge. In summary, concerning the flight characteristics, especially in the atmosphere, I would give the Star Runner a medium certificate here. Yes, the Mercury is agile and it is relatively fast, but for a blockade runner who focuses really on escape or a quick escape from areas, I would have expected a little more. But that is and remains a purely personal opinion, and therefore you have to get an idea for yourself whether the Star Runner is fast enough for you or the little that corresponds to what you expect here. Currently you can buy the Mercury Star Runner for about $260 with 6 months insurance in the pledge store or for $300 with store credits. Also at Star Hangar you can get the Mercury Star Runner, and here a little bit cheaper for about $225. Otherwise, the grey market, of course, similar prices are called. But let's come to the conclusion of the Crusader Mercury Star Runner. The speed is good, or rather very good. It is relatively fast in space and the final speed is currently almost unbeatable. It offers multi-crew gameplay and has an enormously high quantum range. The armoring is also very good and the installed components are definitely adequate in the medium level. But the cargo room, that means the hidden cargo room, is not usable at the moment, and also the possibility of data running, for which the Star Runner is actually designed. And of course there are some disadvantages. At the one hand, it is the pilot damage. This is really very weak. Compared to bigger starter ships, these are already stronger than a Star Runner would cost about $260. Further negative, I would say the atmosphere speed of the Star Runner. Here other ships are really much faster, and for a blockade breaker that is not only supposed to break blockades in space, this is not really a plus. It is not slow, but is not fast either. And also in the area of cargo capacity, there are ships like a Freelancer Max, which cost almost half the price and offer the same cargo space. Also in the area of ROC Mining there are other ships which are equal and do not break the price limit of the Star Runner. So I draw a mixed conclusion. As far the hard facts are concerned, the Star Runner is good in many areas, but not really better than other ships, but calls for a very high price. And as far as the emotional conclusion is concerned, this is the Star Citizen Millennium Falcon. She's a beautiful ship, she's brand new and has a smuggling hideout. Emotionally a clear recommendation. I hope you enjoyed the video and you leave me a like and a subscribe here. Thanks again to all channel members and Patreons. Without you it wouldn't be possible in this form. You guys rock definitely. And finally into the current giveaway for December, presented by Star Hangar, your secure marketplace where you can shop all year round. Here is an LTI version of the brand new Nomad. Good luck! The details can be found in the description as always. I say goodbye and, as always, see you in the verse.